Have you ever felt like you're constantly working on everyone else but yourself? Like you're trying to fix your partner, manage your kids, control your money, but somehow you're standing still, broke, exhausted, and wondering where it all went wrong. I'm Andrew Meet Rich. And let me tell you something honest. I used to be that guy. I was drowning in debt, blaming my circumstances, my partner, even my own reflection in the mirror. I'd open my banking app and immediately close it because I was too terrified to see the numbers. I made every mistake you can think of: overspending, undersaving, living in denial, and worst of all, thinking someone else would come along and rescue me from my own mess. But here's what changed everything for me. I stopped trying to change everyone around me and started working on the one person I actually had control over: myself. Today we're diving into 5 relationship rules that literally transformed my life. Not just financially, but emotionally, psychologically, and yes, romantically too. Because money problems are rarely just about money. They're about habits, boundaries, communication, and self-worth. And if you don't get these 5 things right, your relationships, your bank account, your entire life, they're all heading into the unknown. So grab a pen, take some notes, and even if this topic doesn't feel like your biggest problem right now, trust me, the next video might be exactly what you need. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's figure this out together, because small shifts today lead to massive change tomorrow. Let me tell you about Sarah. She came to me 3 years ago, totally burned out. She was working a full-time job, managing the household, raising 2 kids, and constantly fighting with her husband about money. And here's the kicker. She spent hours every week trying to fix him, trying to make him budget better, trying to get him to stop impulse buying, trying to force him into caring about their future. She'd say things like, "Andrew, if he would just stop spending on stupid stuff, we'd be fine. If he would just listen to me, we wouldn't be broke." And I asked her one question that stopped her cold. "Sarah, how much time did you spend this week working on yourself?" Silence. See? She was pouring all her energy into changing someone she couldn't control, her husband, and zero energy into changing the one person she could, herself. She wasn't investing in her skills, her career growth, her mental health, or even her hobbies. She'd completely abandoned herself trying to rescue him. Fast forward 18 months. Sarah stopped trying to fix her husband. She started a side business, joined a financial literacy course, set boundaries, and focused on becoming the woman she wanted to be. And you know what happened? Her husband started changing too, not because she nagged him, but because she created space. She became magnetic. She stopped needing him to complete her. And ironically, that's when their relationship actually started working. And here's where most people get stuck. They think love means fixing each other. It doesn't. Love means growing together while taking responsibility for your own happiness. Rule number 1, and this is critical. Neurotic people try to fix their partners. Mature people work on themselves. Listen, I see this constantly. Someone writes to me and says, "Andrew, my partner won't stop spending. My partner won't budget. My partner is dragging me down financially." And I get it. It's frustrating. But here's the psychological trap you're falling into. You're using all your energy trying to change someone else. Energy you could be using to upgrade yourself. Think about it like this. When a kid behaves well, nobody notices. But the second they scream or break something, boom, everyone comes running. We learn early that dysfunction gets attention, and unconsciously we carry that into adulthood. Your partner's bad habits become your obsession because fixing them makes you feel needed, important, like you're doing something. But here's the brutal truth. The person you're trying to fix has no incentive to change. Why? Because the moment they change, you lose interest. You stop trying so hard. They lose your attention. It's called secondary gain, and it's secretly keeping both of you stuck. So what do you do instead? Redirect that energy inward. Start building yourself. Upgrade your skills. Grow your income. Invest in your mental health. Develop hobbies, passions, a vision for your life that doesn't revolve around fixing someone else. Because when you become the best version of yourself, one of 2 things happens. Either your partner steps up to match your growth, or they don't, and you realize you've outgrown them. Either way, you win. And here's your action step. Write down 3 areas of your life you've been neglecting, then pick one and commit to working on it this week. Rule number 2. Never put the responsibility for your happiness on your partner. Now, this sounds counterintuitive, right? We enter relationships to make each other happy. But here's the problem. If you can't make yourself happy first, you'll become a black hole of need. You'll be constantly anxious, constantly disappointed, constantly blaming your partner for not filling a void only you can fill. I learned this the hard way. I used to think that if I just found the right person, if I just made enough money, if my circumstances were different, then I'd finally be happy. But that's a trap, because happiness isn't something someone gives you. It's something you create. Here's the reframe. Your job is to build a life you love, with or without anyone else. That doesn't mean you don't need people. It means you don't need them to complete you. You need them to complement you. So here's what I want you to do. Create a happiness instruction manual for yourself. What makes you feel alive? What activities light you up? What brings you peace? Maybe it's morning walks. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's lifting weights, or painting, or learning a new language. Whatever it is, schedule it, protect it, treat it like a non-negotiable. Because here's what happens when you do this. You stop being needy. You stop putting pressure on your partner to fix you. And ironically, that makes you way more attractive. It creates healthy distance, not manipulative distance. Just space where both people can breathe, grow, and choose each other instead of needing each other. Action step. List 5 things that make you genuinely happy, then schedule at least one of them into your week starting today. Rule number 3, and this one's huge for relationships and money. Diversify your connection. Don't live in only one role. Here's what I mean. A lot of couples, especially parents, fall into this trap. Their entire relationship becomes about being mom and dad. They only talk about diapers, school schedules, pediatrician appointments. And listen, I get it. Kids are demanding. But if the only way you connect with your partner is through parenting, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Think about it like asset allocation. If you put all your money into one stock and it crashes, you're done. Same thing with relationships. If your entire emotional portfolio is invested in one role, when that role fades, like when kids grow up, what's left? I remember talking to a couple once. They hadn't been on a date in 2 years. 2 years. Every conversation was logistics. Who's picking up the kids? What's for dinner? Did you pay the electricity bill? They were functioning roommates, not lovers. And when I asked them, when's the last time you connected as husband and wife, not just as parents? They looked at me like I'd spoken a foreign language. So here's the balance you need. Yes, you're parents, but you're also partners, lovers, friends, individuals with dreams outside of your roles. You need time together without the kids. You need conversations that aren't about household management. And critically, you need time for yourself, your hobbies, your growth, your identity beyond being someone's parent or partner. Action step, schedule 1 hour this week where you connect with your partner about something other than logistics. Talk about dreams, memories, ideas, anything but the daily grind. Protect that hour like it's a business meeting. Rule number 4, operate as a team, not as opponents. Think of your relationship like a football team. You've got different positions, different roles, but you're all working toward the same goal. The goalkeeper doesn't just stand there when the striker is struggling. He supports. He steps up when needed. Same thing in relationships. You have responsibilities, sure. But when your partner is drowning, whether it's with housework, kids, finances, or stress, you don't just sit there saying, well, that's not my job. You step in. You help. You support. I used to be terrible at this. I'd finish my tasks and think I was done. Took out the trash, paid the bills, fixed the leaky faucet. Meanwhile, my partner was running around, stressed, overwhelmed, and I'd be on the couch thinking I'd done my part. That's not teamwork. That's scorekeeping. Here's another critical piece. Never, ever undermine your partner in public. I see this all the time. Someone's telling a story, maybe they exaggerate a little, maybe they misremember a detail, and their partner jumps in like, that's not how it happened. You're making stuff up. Boom. Instant conflict. Public humiliation. Total breakdown of trust. Listen, even if your partner's story isn't 100% accurate, you don't correct them in front of others. You support them in the moment. You can discuss it privately later if it's important, but in public, you're a united front. Action step. Next time your partner is stressed or overwhelmed, ask them, what can I take off your plate right now? Then actually do it. No scorekeeping, just support. That's what teams do. Rule number 5, and this is the big one. Accept that you're fundamentally different, and that's not a problem, it's an advantage. Men and women are wired differently. Our brains work differently. We process emotions differently. We communicate differently. And here's the mistake most people make. They expect their partner to think, feel, and act just like them. And when they don't, they get frustrated, resentful, and start thinking this relationship is doomed. But here's the truth. Your differences are what make the relationship work. You don't need a clone. You need a complement. Someone who sees what you miss. Someone who balances your weaknesses with their strengths. The problem is, most couples only realize they're different after the honeymoon phase ends. During the infatuation stage, when the hormones are pumping, everything feels perfect. You say things like, I feel like I've known you forever. But then reality hits. The chemistry fades. The habits show up. And suddenly you're thinking, wait, we're totally different people. That's the moment. That's when you either grow up and build mature communication, or you bail and repeat the cycle with someone new. Here's the reframe. The moment you realize you're different is the moment the real relationship begins. That's when you start learning, adapting, respecting each other's perspectives, and building something deeper than infatuation. Something real. Action step. Identify one major difference between you and your partner, maybe how you handle money, conflict, or stress. And instead of fighting it, ask yourself, how can this difference actually strengthen us? Then have a conversation about it without judgment. So there you have it. 5 rules that changed my life. And if you apply them, they'll change yours too. To recap, stop trying to fix your partner and start building yourself. Take responsibility for your own happiness instead of outsourcing it. Balance your roles so you're not just functioning roommates. Operate as a team, supporting each other without keeping score. And embrace your differences instead of resenting them. These aren't just relationship tips, they're life principles. Because when you get your relationships right, when you get your mindset right, everything else starts falling into place. Your money, your career, your mental health, it all improves. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, Andrew, what if my relationship is already dead? What if it's too late? Listen, I can't answer that for you in a 10-minute video, but I will say this. Sometimes relationships die. Sometimes you need to walk away. But sometimes, and this is more common than you think, the relationship isn't dead. You just don't know how to navigate the stages. And that's why I'm working on something deeper, a way to help you figure out whether you should fight for your relationship or let it go. Because both answers can be right, depending on where you are. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start changing. Don't wait for your partner to make the first move. Start today. Start small. One shift, one boundary, one honest conversation. That's all it takes. And remember, you're not broken. You're just learning. And that's exactly where transformation begins. I'll see you in the next one.